Hey guys, it's Whiskey and welcome to Palm Tree Elegy. This week we are going back to Miss Becky Hensley, Talking to the Wild, except the poem we're going to read today is actually not from this book. It's one that's not even released yet. Coming out in her next book. So it's so awesome that she shared that with us before it's even published in her book. But please support her, Talking to the Wild, the bedtime stories we never knew we needed. I love this book. I know I'm going to love the next one because the poem and other poems I've seen already for the book that's forthcoming. So let's get started. This one is called The Sky. He asked me why it was raining. He asked, was it tears from the sky? And I replied, yes, that this was the case, that even the heavens can cry. He asked me of what was the thunder. He said it was hurting his ears. And I explained sometimes even the clouds need to scream so that somebody hears. He asked me what was the wind and why. What was it whirling and swirling around? So I told him that even the sky takes deep breaths when it's trying to calm itself down. But often we keep our tears secret, and we swallow our own cries for help, and we think that we're weak to be catching our breath, so we don't let our struggles be felt. And yet, if the clouds never emptied, and the sky never screamed through the storm, it would sit growing darker and darker until it was simply no use to us all. So throw all your fears to the wind, dear, and toss all your tears to the clouds, and you will discover the infinite power the heaven holds over the ground. See, it's normal and natural to struggle, and it's healthy and human to cry. And if anyone questions your power, my darling, just tell them it's matched by the sky. I love that poem too. I love them all. This poem for me, it really made me think about how in my PTSD journey and in life in general, how we hold ourselves we hold ourselves back, and we don't necessarily confide in other people when we need to. I have a few dear, dear friends of mine that they disappear every time something's going on for them. Like every time they really should reach out or really could use a shoulder to lean on or cry on or vent to, they vanish. And I don't hear from them until they're through what they were going through. And I'm like, why did you do that again? But then I realize I do the same thing. Not so much as I used to, but it just was a habit that I'd gotten into, and I didn't want to be a burden or a bother or anything like that. And what I realized was that we our problems aren't as big when we share them with somebody else, right? We have them when we share them with one person. If we have three good friends and we share them with all three, we have quartered our problems because we've dispersed it through three other people, and we've let them hold some of that burden and some of that energy for us so that it's not so heavy and it's not so big for us. And we have feedback that helps us get through it. And that's just really a good practice that I've learned to get into, and I'm encouraging other people to get into, is don't let that storm build so big that it's just completely destructive, because that's what happens, right? We let things build and grow, and we'll lash out and say things we didn't mean because we've just had enough of whatever it was we weren't talking about. Or we get super depressed because we didn't share something possibly minor to begin with. And because we didn't share it and because we didn't deal with it when it was small, it just grows and it festers and it gets huge. Even anger and being mad at somebody. I used to follow Joyce Myers all the time, and I've heard it in other places too. You know, if you're angry or you're mad and you just can't get over it or can't get through it and can't forgive or just work your way to the other side of it, it's like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die, because you're locking all of this energy inside of yourself and inside your heart and inside your body, and it starts to manifest there. I am a million times better health wise and body wise than I used to be. I used to be in so much pain and just crippling joints and all these different things. And it turned out once I started sharing what I needed to share and getting things out of my system and purging all that crazy stuff that was going on, I physically started getting healthier. And now I do things I haven't been able to do in 5 plus years. I don't take any medications. I don't take any, not an aspirin, not an anything. I have found natural ways and energetic ways to take care of things and deal with things. And if I do start to get ill or sick, I found natural ways to do it because it's garbage in, garbage out, right? When we hold this garbage in and we push those storms down and we don't let them release, it explodes within us. It doesn't help us and it doesn't help anybody else because it does come out and it ends up being way more collateral damage and destruction than it needed to be in the first place. So, my challenge and my life work for you this week is to ask you, what can you do? Pick one thing that's gnawing or nagging or that's been sitting there with you. Pick one thing and ask yourself, how can you release that pressure? How can you open that valve up even a little bit to let it release and to go to a better place with whatever that is that you're dealing with, and just picture where that's going to go if you release just that little bit of pressure, just that 1 degree of pressure is going to make all the difference in the world. I love you. I can't wait to see you guys and talk to you again about the next whatever comes in front of me and ends up here, right? I love you and we'll talk to you later. Keep on rocking. Bye.